Tuesday. It's your girl, Candy Caitlin.
And your boy Shawtown Shaw.
And it's time to
Pull up.
here on Pull Up the Podcast. We talk about sports.
News, hip hop.
We don't talk about people.
We just give you the facts and the
So
evidence.
the evidence, the facts, baby, we talk about the headlines. Mr. Shaw, so it's always difficult to start shows when there's things that have touched the sports community. We are a sports-based podcast. We talk about hip hop and news, but the news of Dwayne Haskins passing the other day, it's a lot when people are young. It's always like you don't have to know somebody, but it's like such a young talent gone too soon without us getting, the second part of his journey. So that, rest in heaven to Dwayne Haskins. And I like to say that I just think it's a little bit more friendlier. Just so young.
Yeah.
24.
I didn't even read what happened with the car crash. I just seen the car crash. Then I seen a lot of players upset with Adam Schefter with how he reported about the car crash and how he reported Dwayne Haskins' car crash. And,
well, he didn't. His car didn't crash. He was hit by a truck. He was walking along the side of the highway, which that definitely leaves us with missing pieces to the story. And I was proud of the young African Americans that took heed to the way that stories are reported about us in death as well and in life are always one-sided.
And because when I didn't see Adam Schefter's, I didn't see his initial report. I just got it from Bleacher. Dwayne Haskins passed away. He was hit by a car. So I didn't see where Adam Schefter said he struggled in his NFL career, which, if Adam will report that about Tim Tebow when he passed away, then I feel like it's fair, right?
But do you think that would happen?
Same thing about, probably not. Most likely not. Right? It's like a 95% chance it's not going to happen that way.
And it's the fact that our lives are, even in death, there's negativity, right? And I think that's what players, because he was in Pittsburgh, right? They say that he had been down in Florida working out with teammates. He was working with other players, working on his game. That's what you do in the off season. So why not highlight that aspect of his life? Or, even if you're going to relate it to football, we all remember that the play, he scores a touchdown when he was a Washington at that time Redskin. He jumps into the crowd in the game. The play wasn't over. In that moment, we were judgmental. But in this moment, it's a highlight. It is a part of his NFL career, his Ohio State legacy, his Giants, legacy. It is what it is.
It's sad, it's sad that he died at 24 because we're not talking about he's 27, 28 and wasn't able to catch on. We're talking about 24. So he's been in the league 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's quarterbacks, who be in the league 10, 15 years ain't never catch on. Dan Orlovsky, he got a whole, ESPN there. He wasn't even decent. You know what I'm saying? I don't even remember him from college, but it's the way the news is reported. And, I was not mad at the athletes. Because, again, I don't believe Adam Schefter meant no harm. But, because, that's shit. They might be mad at Schefter because he has all the news, he got the reports. But, usually Adam is precise. And, again, Adam, if we looking into hindsight, I roll with the athletes. I respect them because, Adam Schefter was came for earlier in the year, right? He's already been they've already come for him once. So I don't know if there's a,
well, it's the way we cover. No, it's absolutely
because he deleted that. He deleted that tweet.
And I believe that men sometimes ignore. It's the way that we speak about and cover African American athletes, African American entertainers. When you have the power to, because even when the conversation occurred during the NFL draft in 2020 when it was virtual, I literally had that conversation and had been basically told, like, you're over exaggerating. It's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody started talking about the questions that are asked and the stories that we tell about these athletes. These young people work really hard to get to where they are. And yes, we talk about the headlines and we have our opinions, but in the time of death, you celebrate life. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that culturally, in our culture, we understand the importance of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every moment shouldn't be a shot about what someone didn't do great
Mm-hmm.
because they have family and friends that are mourning the loss of someone that they cared about outside of football. Football is really not that important. And I need people to
Mm-hmm.
understand that. So that's why the athletes are coming. So I don't want
I
to
ain't
stay on that
mad
too
at them.
long. Yeah, I don't want to stay on that too long. We always want to honor people's lives who made a contribution to the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Names that matter. One of the most sought after quarterbacks in his, going into Ohio State. He was a extremely high recruit. Something of a big deal. So you just want to honor those young people's legacies. In that time, he
Mm-hmm.
leaves a young wife to mourning. 24-year-old widow, and it's just similar to a Kobe Bryant situation, not at the highest level, but every time you
Mm-hmm.
honor Dwayne Haskins, she's got to be reminded that she doesn't have a husband. That's humanizing these stories,
Mm-hmm.
humanizing these athletes. So, you know, prayers to his family as they deal with this tragic time. So
Nah,
let's get into
it's sad. It's
yeah.
sad for sure.
So we're gonna get into sports, try to take it, uplift it, take it to another level. NBA play-ins, playoffs. It's go time. This is Mr. Shaw. You were so unprofessional.
And you want to be to hold it in and die?
That was so unprofessional. You could have covered your mouth. You could have said, "Excuse me." You could have did anything but been unprofessional. But
And
pull up
I got
wouldn't be
no, I'm
pull up
tired.
if you. Me too.
Yeah, yeah.
Me too. I just got off of an intern meeting. I got emails to respond to, but guess what? Like I just explained to interns, no one cares. The show, it's like the circus. The show must go on. The show must go on. So with the show going on, the East right now, the Nets and the Cavs are playing the first playing game of the 2022 season. What does that say about the state of the Nets? And right
It
now they're up
it don't say nothing about the.
42-29
Yeah,
over Cleveland.
I was on my Bleacher Report today, so I mean not my Bleacher Report, but paying dues. So I got a little money on the game. Got a little money. It don't say nothing. They tried to put something together, didn't work. James Harden dipped on them because he knew it wasn't gonna work. Kyrie, I mean, they're gonna win. They're gonna get into the playoffs. They're gonna beat Cleveland. They definitely gonna beat Cleveland. Cleveland don't have enough firepower over there, and so they're gonna get in. But I don't feel like it tells the story. You are who you are. Y'all can't. You and Kyrie ran from your respective teams. Excuse me. You and Kyrie ran from your respective teams because y'all didn't like who y'all were playing with. Y'all didn't like that there were other people on the team getting credit for y'all winning. So y'all wanted to go make your own way. This is your opportunity to make your own way. Kyrie, where some people respected it, some people didn't respect it. You made your team lose games. You didn't play at home, whether the rule made sense or not. Right? So at this point all they can do is move forward. At best they'll make it to the next round. But they'll never be a championship team. Right? Y'all been there 3 years. KD, you've been there 3 years. In the 3 years, you got half the team traded because it was probably some good valuable pieces y'all could have kept them. But you want to be on your LeBron tip, right? It ain't working for you.
I
So
agree.
me for the Nets, y'all are.
Your mama say you know
Yeah,
better.
no better for what?
Yawning in the middle of a broadcast. That's on you. That's live.
Girl, y'all lucky my shirt ain't out.
Well, I'm sure the FCC would go ahead and ban us, and we're not even regulated by FCC.
Well, they you know how many podcasts they smoke marijuana on?
Well,
Gilly
they're
the
not. They're not. They're not.
Gilly the kid is. But stop playing.
They're what?
Stop. Gilly and Wallow, they're official.
Well, no, I'm saying they're not. Podcasts aren't FCC regulated at this time. That's the only reason why everybody's getting a pass. So as long as they stay from under FCC control, we'll be okay. But anyway, that's another story. So
Another day.
I agree. I can't even argue with you on the Nets. LA is having the same issue when you brought up LeBron. So just to compare the two, sometimes player GM, these moves that these guys are trying to align and make, and sometimes it's the fact that they're their friends. It's not working, and I think they're sometimes not being honest with themselves. That's why the Lakers conversation now that Frank Vogel has been terminated and relieved of his duties. I think that sounds better than fired. The conversation is now about Westbrook. Westbrook made comments. I think that the super teams are not the only way to win now, and we know that. We know that our overload is just like anything. A circuit will blow if it's an overload on the circuit, right?
Anthony Davis is not healthy. It ain't got nothing to do with it's the player. It's the player. It don't got nothing. And Frank Vogel not a good coach. So
We
that's not
agree.
LeBron. That's on the organization. Y'all should never hired him in the first place.
Agree.
Right? Like,
but
we just
then
being
there was
realistic.
a comment made today. I don't know if I sent it to you, about the fact that the Lakers organization and the culture there.
Not for sure, because they want to hire Utah head coach Dan Snyder, Dan Quinn,
Dan Quinn. We're gonna talk about Dan Snyder here in a minute.
Yeah, Dan Snyder.
Dan Snyder. No, Dan Quinn.
No, not Dan Quinn. That's not that man name. Quinn Snyder. That's his name.
We're
Quinn
both
Snyder.
Yeah, because we're talking about Dan Snyder next.
Well, Quinn Snyder they said, he good on the position because how they handled the firing of Frank Vogel. So again, it's the organization and Anthony Davis' fault. Plain and simple. There's no other way to look at the Lakers. People can say, well, Anthony Davis didn't want to be injured. He's injured. If you're, why do we call Greg Odom a bust? I mean, why do we call Greg Odom?
Because he was injured. Because he was injured. You're absolutely right.
Why do we call any player that
doesn't live up to their potential a bust? You're right, because they were injured.
Because you were injured. Now, Anthony Davis is not a bust, but bro, we're definitely blaming you for the Lakers. Everything wrong with the Lakers is on you because LeBron is in year 19. Nobody else in year 19 could be doing what he's doing. You were supposed to be there so he can sit down 10 to 15 minutes. You're not playing.
True.
He can't sit out games because you're not there. So again, the Lakers' problem is if they said they was going to shop AD, get rid of AD, fine. Just make sure you get your value back for him.
They were even talking shopping AD to Golden State, and I'm like, for Clay, I'm like, Lakers win, Golden State doesn't win with Clay for AD, who's hurt.
It's not really. I'm not knocking Clay's value, but that probably would make the Lakers better because you got a defender and somebody who can
a score.
Anthony Davis don't have to play full games if they still got. You know what I'm saying? Like he would fit the Warriors perfectly.
I mean,
they could because look with Jordan. Klay Thompson really was taking minutes from Jordan Poole.
And that's the conversation of the reason why the trade would possibly be ideal with Jordan Poole developing, being younger, not injury prone because Klay is now injury prone.
You still got James Wiseman on their bench. So, if he get it, I don't think he played this season. So Anthony Davis wouldn't be per se needed every game. He can sit out because again, you can't expect AD to play 62 games. He gonna miss at least 20.
And that's difficult because when you get into this playoff stretch, that's
it's not difficult if you were Warriors.
I mean, if you're the Warriors, then you can alleviate some of that. But again, I'm not paying you. Got nothing else. Right, I'm not paying you to sit on the bench. So let's kind of
there's a lot of players that sit on the bench and get paid.
We are, but not AD type money.
Shaq, man, Shaq wasn't playing. Stop, don't do that. Shaq only showed up for the playoffs.
Shaq also has how many championships?
But I'm saying he only showed up for the playoffs.
He wasn't hurt.
Like you get turf toe. Shaq stayed with the turf toe.
Yeah, but he wasn't hurt like AD hurt.
I ain't saying nothing. I ain't saying
because you're talking Laker years at that point. You're not talking those years that were built in Orlando with consistency. Like
he was on there 4 years. You say that like he was on there 4 years.
So AD is in what, year 8 or 9 in the league? He has no. I mean, AD has one championship.
No. Yeah,
one. You can't talk AD and Shaq in the same conversation. We just.
I never said. AD
I mean, not
and Shaq
even with
in the same
comparisons of a turf toe.
I said that Shaq only played when it was postseason time. So if you had a player on the bench, you reserved like we need you when we need you. Come play when we need you. The rest of them games don't matter. Shaq said it himself. He care about the rest.
Shaq, if you hear him, he wants you on the show because Shaq don't like you. People questioning his greatness.
I never
Mr. Shaw saying you sat on the bench until playoff time because you.
Well, Tim Duncan would play every game. Shaq wasn't doing that. Shaq ain't worried about that. I'll be ready for playoff. Put me in, coach. Put me in.
I disagree with you.
When he played for the Heat. When he played with the Heat.
He was at the end of his career in Miami. And Boston and Cleveland, he was at the end of his career.
Paid.
Yeah, but he was at the end of not Anthony. Anthony Davis is getting paid to be hurt. And his value, because he's already gotten that type of contract, he's not going to lower his value right now. So I'm not giving Anthony Davis that kind of money to sit on the bench.
They might even have to. They're going to have to restructure that contract.
They're going to restructure the contract, but he's still making way too much money to be as hurt as he is. So
I mean, he's a top 75. Listen to what you said, but
he is. He's a top. He's a top 75 player that's been on the bench 75% of the last 3 seasons.
But how great are you if you be on the bench and you still made the top 75 with all the great NBA
because we know what he could be if he was healthy. I agree with you, but again, financially, we're talking dollars. We're talking dollars and cents. I'm not talking about what he has the potential to be or what he is. I'm talking about financially. I'm looking at the red, positive, negative.
You can't do that. Chandler Parsons was getting 25. And they never made no All-Star game.
Again, he should have never been getting paid that kind of money.
Mike Conley, you know what Mike Conley get paid?
How much?
40. So you can't say that about AD when you got people like Mike Conley getting 40.
AD got to give me a healthy season, bro.
You can't even name.
I'm not running AD that kind of money.
Where Mike Conley play? Who you play for?
I don't even know where he is anymore. I haven't seen him since he was in Memphis. Yeah, there you go.
40 mil to do nothing, bro. So again,
because once your value, right, and that's what I'm saying right now. For me,
I ain't cutting him no slack.
I wouldn't do it, but who am I? I'm not in the front office, but I'm pretty sure
nothing they do is right.
I'm pretty sure, and it's Laker culture.
How you let Jason Kidd get out of there?
If you watch
Frank Vogel, bye.
If you watch Winning Time with the Lakers, some of this is false, right? Because it's it's storytelling. But a lot of this, based on the fact that Jenny Buss is a part, like Jenny Buss did not let this come out, not having any say in this. The Lakers culture has been bad. So we're gonna move on because we're gonna talk bad culture. We talk about that on this show all the time. These organizations and the bad culture, as you said, Frank Vogel got the job. Jason Kidd got out of there. We were talking because we're always talking about somebody slapping somebody, like, right? We hold people to the fire and punish them 50 times for the same thing. The conversation with Jason Kidd and the Laker head coach was the fact of, you and I talked about this previously, the French fry.
Not about situation. The French fry. They didn't hire him because of the French fry?
Because you live in these certain markets. Mark Cuban can do what he want to do in Texas. No one really cares about women in Texas still. We live in Texas. I mean, they're still talking about a woman's right of having an abortion here. No one cares in Texas. LA, women's rights groups, New York, women's rights groups. So these things all matter. And that was the conversation in LA. But as you look at the structure of these organizations, I'm sorry, ladies, you can be mad. But they're all terrible.
If you told me that you didn't hire Jason Kidd because you feel like he wasn't a good coach, I would respect it.
But I really believe that it had to do with his background and that last arrest and the domestic violence, just because in certain areas, like I said, these women's rights groups, no one wants to smoke, no one wants to boycott, no one wants seasons that are disrupted by stuff that have absolutely nothing to do with sports. So... we kind of went on that. So the stepbrother, the stepbrother to the Lakers, the Clippers, they are in the second playoff game tonight on TNT at 8:30 Central Standard Time versus the Timberwolves.
They get the win.
You say who's gonna get the win?
They're gonna get the win.
The Clippers?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Clippers. I'm gonna write these. I'm trying to keep up with our predictions so that
D'Angelo Russell not playing for he not playing for Minnesota tonight. I picked him on one of my rosters accidentally. I ain't read.
You got Clippers?
Yeah, I got the Clippers.
Okay, I was gonna take the TWolves.
And you know what? Just think. We talk about AD, Kawhi Leonard. Nobody say nothing about Kawhi Leonard.
Is he hurt or is he taking?
Kawhi Leonard ain't played this season. Kawhi Leonard played 6 games this season.
Yeah, because I know
we don't talk about Kawhi. Nobody talks Kawhi. Nobody talks about Kawhi Leonard and the lack of games he plays. Kawhi Leonard boycotts whole season. I ain't gonna play this season. The Spurs don't know what they talking about. Remember that. They got traded out of there. Right? And I'm not knocking Kawhi, but again, Tyronn Lue should win Coach of the Year.
Okay. So you got Tyronn Lue for Coach of the Year.
Facts. You in the playoffs and you ain't had Kawhi but 6 games. Paul George missed probably 40.
Yep.
Probably missed 40.
Yep. So he was hurt. So you got the Clippers.
You was winning with people like Brandon Boston, who wasn't doing nothing in Kentucky last year. But you, Tyronn Lue, and again, I'm not gonna call you a great coach yet, but definitely Tyronn Lue was Coach of the Year because you have made something happen with nobody.
Luke, and that is about coaching. That is about using your pieces, strategizing, getting a rotation complete, calling time.
That's why Michael Jordan got rings. That's why Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant got rings. LeBron James can't say that, but that's a different story, different day.
Coaching. Okay, it is. It's definitely about coaching. So the Atlanta-Charlotte series. So the teams that we just named. We talked about the Nets, Cavs, Clippers, T-Wolves, the play-in.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow night, Atlanta, Charlotte, New Orleans, San Antonio. So I got Atlanta over Charlotte.
I got San Antonio over.
Wait, stay with the games, Shaw.
Atlanta, Charlotte. I want the same one.
Okay, you gotta say.
I don't have to say. We talking. Trae Young been there.
New Orleans, San Antonio.
San Antonio. I'm going with Pop.
Me too. With veteran experience. I got the teams that are already in solidified playoff spots, Bucks, Bulls. I got Bucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Sixers, Raptors. I got the Sixers.
For sure. Sixers.
Warriors, Nuggets. Because Steph is hurt, they're saying Steph could return to practice this week. You don't think the Nuggets have enough power to outlast the Warriors without Steph Curry? What does that team do in the playoffs without Steph?
What the Warriors are missing? I mean, the Nuggets are missing Michael Porter, and that says Mike Malone. Mike Malone also should be in the running for Coach of the Year because the Nuggets don't have Jamal Murray. They haven't had Jamal Murray in a year and a half, and Michael Porter Jr. been out a nice little group, so they've been winning with backups and Joker, right? So and he can win MVP again. I just feel like the Warriors have enough firepower and championship pedigree to win without Steph, right? Like, they're not the same team they were last year. Then you add Clay back. So I feel like that gives them the edge. Because, again, what we seen last year from the Nuggets, why they got beat in the playoffs, you need superstars. You need somebody who can take the ball out of Joker's hand and take the game over. And that's what Jamal Murray does for that team. Can Will Barton fill in that gap? I don't know. Can what's number 11 name? He been there. I can't think of his name. Can the others fill in for Jamal? And Jamal Murray hasn't been there all season, so they've been playing without. But that is a guaranteed bucket, and he turns his game up in the playoffs. And I respect the Nuggets and the aspect of we feel like we got years to go with you and Joker. We're not rushing you back. Right, like so they basically, because he was in the G League playing games, they're like, nah, we just going, if this ain't the season, this ain't the season. maybe they feel like they're not guaranteed to be in the championship this season, and they're not gonna rush it. So I think the Warriors have enough firepower and enough championship pedigree to beat the Nuggets because they miss pieces as well. But
Okay,
Joker
so
gonna be a problem.
that's the reason why I was looking at the Nuggets, because I'm like, I don't know. I'm iffy on that one. So I'm gonna say I'm iffy between the two. I'll have to watch the first game of the series. Mavs, Jazz, Luka is out. So Mr. Shaw had a blackout. I don't know where he went. Mavs, Jazz. I'm gonna take the Mavs. It is going to be a difficult series if Luka is not healthy and ready to play. So for those of you who Mr. Shaw was back, so Mavs, Jazz is the last one.
Yeah, if Luka not healthy, um, same, same. But yeah, they would have beat Utah if Luka was healthy because they choke artists. The Jazz and choke artists.
Agree. So our last 2 points of
You was
conversation
the
is
one seed, got beat by the 8 seed last year.
right. I
Yeah,
don't think
Memphis beat
seeding.
you
I
last
don't
year.
even think seeding matters at this point. I feel like it's about who's the toughest, who's the best in shape, who can stay healthy. That's what it is. That's what the NBA has become at this point. What team can get hot at the right time? Make sure all the pieces finally gel together. Coaching and the ability to stay healthy. So with that conversation, we are going to switch in our last few minutes. Washington, who used to be the Redskins, then the Washington football team, now the Washington Commanders. This conversation has been taking place for at least the last 2 years. We've talked about it. John Gruden lost his job because of emails that were a part of the Washington
I wasn't even
organization.
laughing at that. Just go ahead. I wasn't even
Dan
laughing at that.
Snyder still owns the Washington Commanders. So there continues to be testimony. There continues to be emails. There continues
Has
to
there
be
ever been a owner relieved of his position or
Don
fired?
Sterling.
Has
He's the only other person that I know that had to sell his team. Dan Snyder needs to sell the team at this point. He is running a criminal enterprise here. Okay.
But do you really want that?
Do I really want the owner to sell the team? Well, let's see.
No, 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 no. Do you really want that team?
I
Like, do you
mean,
really want to buy
somebody
that?
wants the team.
No, you don't. For what?
Somebody wants the team.
Why you finna tell me how we doing illegal stuff and you gonna sell it to me?
Well,
So
because
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
get hit with them
clear
cases.
house. We're gonna clean house, right? We're gonna clean
Are them
house.
cases gonna go on Dan Snyder or the new owner?
They're gonna go on Dan Snyder. This is a Dan Snyder disaster. We're gonna put it on him. We're gonna put it on everybody that was previously there. We're gonna put it on, the Congress, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, Congress, the Oversight Committee. There's evidence that he was stealing fans' money for deposits. If you know how much season tickets cost, people are pissed. There is employees who worked there for 24 years. Sir, if you worked there for 24 years, the team didn't just get bad. Like, the stealing didn't start yesterday. There's 210 pages of documentation that has engaged the former SEC chairman, that's reviewing these matters. Like, at what point, and we've talked about this here. I say it all the time. And in the words of Cam Newton, when a woman asks about receiving yards at Talk Sports, it's funny. Listen, I've been saying this. These teams suck because management sucks. Ownership is terrible. The culture, the financials. Dan Snyder is running this organization like the goddamn mafia at this point. You're pimping the cheerleaders. You're stealing from the fans. I mean,
I ain't judging that man. That man gotta get his money.
I'm
Jerry
not
get his money.
judging
How
him.
Jerry get his money? Yeah,
I'm
get his
not
money.
judging him. This
Jerry
is not
hold
judgment.
events. No, I ain't saying you judging. I'm saying Jerry hold events. He run his like the mob. Hey, Dan Snyder, you got caught for him because your organization trash, right? Your organization trash. You haven't hired a good coach in years. You haven't drafted a good quarterback since Robert Griffin III. So as far as sports wise, as far as football goes, I can't pay y'all no attention. Hey, you know what? maybe Doug Green needs to be your coach. Because the fact of the matter is, whatever you're doing, it ain't work. Y'all haven't been relevant since the 90s.
Well, you haven't
The
been
Robert
relevant.
Griffin year.
You haven't been relevant since the 90s or the Robin Griffin years because the organization, you're stealing. You are running shady freaking business. And here's my issue with the NFL. It's not like the rest of the owners don't know. So what else are we going to find out about the rest of these teams? What are we going to find out about these 15-year leases? What about taking 25% of the deposit that you're never refunding back to your customers? Like, how many complaints have happened? How long has this gone on? This is shady. Like, this is shady business, sir. This is shady business. Like, you won. No, you can't win. No, you can't draft a decent quarterback. Nobody wants to work here. So there's somebody. There's a millionaire.
Drafted ain't got nothing to do with that.
What did you say?
Getting drafted, you don't got a choice when you drafted.
Well, allegedly, when Sanchez got his leg broke, there was a position change where his coverage was pulled out because he and the team coach were screwing the same chick.
Sanchez or Alex Smith?
I mean, Alex Smith.
I say Mark Sanchez only got the Jets. He only got over on them. Nobody else was dumb enough to try that.
It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a made, like the NFL is a made for TV drama. It's a made for TV drama. Like, we can't make this stuff up. It couldn't be scripted any better than this. And then meanwhile, if Dan Snyder's doing it, as somebody said, Robert Kraft, we know, is a part of, kicking it in the massage parlors. Jerry Jones has an open case for paternity. I mean, let's talk about these owners. Let's talk about it. It's quite this behavior. And then we have the audacity to have rules for the players. It's mind-boggling. There's a player code of conduct. There's no owner's code of conduct. Or you could be the Indianapolis coach and get arrested for a DWI. He still owns the team. You could be Robert Kraft, get busted in a sex parlor. He still owns the team. So our final piece, Mr. Shaw has nothing to say.
I spoke on on Dan Snyder, but as far like, what am I gonna say? You said they don't got no code of conduct for the own. What I'm gonna say, like, so like y'all policing people, but y'all not policing yourselves. So.
Right, police yourselves, and then police like. But the players act this way because the owners act this way. They know what the owners do behind closed doors. They know the things that the owners do that never hits the public lights. They party with the owners. I'm sure the Cocaine Cowboys.
Robert Kraft be hanging with Meek Mill.
Exactly. So, final story of the day before we get out of here, guys, on this Tuesday. Cam Newton just never seems to say the right things. And I think women's organizations just sit around and scout it out. Cam was on a podcast that was released on yesterday.
Why scout it out? Why scout it out? Why? Like, he don't be saying stuff that he don't.
People look for things to complain about.
Brittany Reiner read him the act. He had nothing to say. You don't stand for us. You slow.
That's what she told Cam Newton.
She said you. No, he was telling her about why women need to be okay with a man, a 1% man cheating on her, and she asked him, "Would you tell your daughters that?" Now, at that point, I gained all respect for Brittany Reiner because she sits in front of me, who calls her this, that, and the third. PJ Washington, the Kentucky guy, But I respect her because she sits in front of me. She don't run from me. She standing in front of you on all 10, ready to go for whatever. I like that. She's strong.
Did she tell Cam this? I'm confused.
Cam was telling her why women need to be okay dealing with 1% men.
Okay. And
her response was, "Would you tell your daughter?"
Okay, right. Gotcha.
And her response was, "Would you tell your daughters that?" And he was, "No, cause see," and I was simply told to Brittany, "No, I'm not gonna tell my daughter that, cause she gonna come from a 1%er, so she gonna know how a 1%er move. She gonna treat niggas like she the 1%er, and tell them you got to be okay with this, cause I'm the 1%er, cause I came from that."
Well,
right? But
and
a
not
woman,
only and not only that, right? So here's the thing with Cam at this point. Cam just seems to say, I don't think it's the wrong thing because he's an African
he's
American male.
slow.
Well, I think
He's slow.
he was raised. That's how he was raised. A lot of African American males.
He threw a laptop at the window and he think he was getting caught. He's slow.
Okay, well, I'm not saying he's so. I'm just saying the things that he says is not things that I don't hear and see all day on Facebook about women not being able to cook and women not knowing when to shut up. That is a black male thing. Like that is ego, as you said, the 1%er. Because I make a lot of money, as you say it all the time. A lot of men get defensive because they don't know how to argue back. They don't have anything else to say. So in the process of that, for me, Cam's comments are laughable because at the end of the day, there's a conversation that's taking place in society right now about our Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, our first African American Supreme Court justice here soon, Sister Ketanji, and they're married to Caucasian men. And we talked about this on the show. 1%ers, as you said, if they really wanted to match their hustle and they really wanted to leave generational wealth, they go find other 1%ers. They go find other women that could really match their money that they weren't having to take care of, think for, you couldn't have babies with and get up and disappear because they would make sure that if they didn't want a baby, they wouldn't come up pregnant. So when we're having these conversations, how about we all change our mindset? Women don't cook. Well, if I'm in the 1%, I don't have to cook because I can afford to hire the help like you can afford to hire the help. And we need to lower these expectations of women because you want women at the bottom if your woman can stay at home and cook for you all day. Because working women, they're not in there cooking dinner every single day. Do you know any?
Let me get them in at least once or twice a week.
Right, but you're also probably cooking once or twice a week. Because everybody
I ain't cooking.
Has responsibilities.
I ain't cooking.
Well, if I go to work and you go to work and you ain't cooking, everybody gonna get it how they live. Is what it is.
We ain't gonna argue about it neither.
Exactly. So, this is your girl, Candy K. Lynn.
And your boy, Shawtown Shaw.
And you are watching and listening to Pull Up the Podcast. Until next week.
We out. Pull up.
Good night.